there any additions or corrections to the December 14th, regular board meeting minutes? If not, I ask that they be entered into our record as presented. On the January 4th special joint meeting, I would ask that in the paragraph next to the bottom, where it says $79,537 from the Parma Sandstone Fire Department Capital Outlay Improvement Fund to the Parma Sandstone Fire Department Operating Fund, to clarify it. Are there any other additions or corrections to the January 4th special joint meeting minutes? If not, I move that the corrections that are including the Parma Sandstone Fire Department Capital Outlay Improvement Fund and the Parma Sandstone Fire Department Operating Fund be corrected. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
A motion and a second, a motion by Wendy, a second by Sarah. Is there any discussion? If not, Stacia, when you're ready, would you call the roll?
Wendy,
Yes.
Sarah,
Yes.
Sheila,
Yes.
Keith,
Yes.
Doug,
Yes.
Motion carried, thank you. Are there any additions or corrections to the February 27th special board meeting? If not, I ask that they be entered into our record as presented. Thank you and good job, Stacia. Committee report. Sheila, would you give the treasurer's report, please?
Everyone had in their packets tonight the last 3 months. I will only be going over the month of February. Beginning with our general fund, February 1st, we had $300,400.30. We saw a revenue of $175,062.63. Expenses of $26,833.86, leaving a balance of $448,629.07. In our water operating fund, we began with $1,378.75. We saw revenue of $5,013.37, expenses of $3,094.52, leaving an end balance of $3,298.60. In the capital improvements fund, we began with $84,843.03. We had revenue of $2.50. Had expenses of $5,000, which was a movement of money from capital improvements to operating for bill pay, leaving an imbalance of $79,845.53.
Thank you, Sheila. Do any of the board members have questions of Sheila's report? Sheila, do you have anything else to report? Thank you. Sarah, would you like to report the building department?
For township inspections, December 2022 to February 2023, we had 11 building, 4 electrical, 10 mechanical, 4 plumbing, and 1 building inspection.
Thank you, Sarah. Do you have anything else to report? Are there any questions on Sarah's report? Again, thank you. Doug, do you have something to report on the planning commission?
Yeah.
Over there.
January 4th, we made a motion to rescind our recommendation of the planning commission, recommendation of Lisa Vandenberg, and it was passed by the planning commission to rescind having them do our independence
Our consultation.
consultation. And we recommend 2, Spicer and Lone Wolf Resources, when they have ability to provide service for it. And, our proposed, solar ordinance, move to approve the solar ordinances that were drafted by our lawyer's office. We still don't have an overlay map as of January the first, Region 2 is in disarray, so we rusted on that. Then on 124, we had a meeting, and, we reviewed the Jackson County solar site plan, and we made motion to have clarification on the panel height that it not exceed 15 feet, demonstrate need of providing proof of current buyer contract, which they must do with next year. Finally, pending file, but Eagle approval as referenced on page 12 was passed. A new business Dan Mary shared that land division request endeavor was recently approved. That was that meeting, and last night, 7th. The solar ordinance proposed amendments, we are been finalized and are ready for open meetings as soon as overlay map is there. We've discussed having, if Region 2, we can't get Region 2 to do it, we will make our own overlay map. That way it'll be done, so we can have our open meeting before August because of the moratorium. So we approved the zoning ordinance amendment as approved by our lawyers. Motion to move forward on zoning for mining, aggregate, at a later date. And we revised the planning commission bylaws. For the regular meetings, selection was for offices was in February, we moved it to March of each year. We, section 2.0, we changed the date from Monday, the second Monday of every month to Wednesday, and also the time from 7:30 p.m. to 6 o'clock, 2.0. And finally, 2.6C7, we added public comment. Shall be 5 minutes, one per person. So that will become 2.6C7, 2.6C8 will be adjournment now. That was last.
Okay. Do you have anything else to add?
No.
Okay, thank you, Doug. Do any of the board members have any questions of Doug's planning commission report? No, we do not.
Over it again.
Thank you. Keith, do you have a report on the Parma Sandstone Fire Department?
Yes, I turned that over to Noel to help me out.
No.
Okay, well, I'll go ahead with it. I'll go down the agenda. Chief's run report for the month. There were 102 runs. Parma had 38, Sandstone had 48, and the village had 12. And then there was 2 mutual aids and out of area calls. That's basically it on the run report. So the ice storm, these guys sat on a lot of down lines for long times. Chief sat on one for what, 6 hours? Financial report, I'm just gonna just briefly say, there's been 83.7% as of the end of February. So we're still solvent on that. The new cement they put in the parking lot last fall has held up really well. They don't have any problems there now. They're looking to get the rest of it finished up sometime this spring. They're on April, May. Okay. Our thermal imaging cameras, which we bought 10 years ago, probably, they've died. And the, company that made those, MSA, they don't support them anymore. So we voted, last month to purchase 2 new cameras, put on the trucks, and, had some training on them, and they're really happy with them. He gave us a demonstration the other night, and, it really worked well. You can see things in the dark that you couldn't see before.
That's not good.
Yeah, is that good?
Also, I think it was a couple of months ago now, we voted to purchase some new, extrication equipment for engine 3, which is, like heavy-duty struts for stabilizing vehicles, and, I don't know what all there was, with different pads that go and stuff with them. They've got those mounted on engine 3 now, they had to make some of their own brackets to make it work, but they got those mounted, and it's all set to go. We discussed the, insurance for the building and the vehicles. The chief, made some changes to it. The one thing he realized is the building was probably way underinsured. So he boosted that up, and with the vehicles, up the deductible to try to offset some of the rise in the thing. And also the, with the insurance, what they were saying was that you're supposed to put down the I don't know how to put it. The initial purchase price. So if that vehicle got wrecked, they were gonna say, well, the initial purchase price was, 600,000, that's what we're gonna pay. Well, now to replace it, you would be looking at 800 or more. So those changes have been made. They haven't gotten back with us what it's gonna cost for the year. So, but they've already said we were looking at somewhere between 8 and 10% increase. And that was gonna be before any changes were made, so. Yeah, due to inflation. And then we discussed the budget, which I think everybody has a copy. And, as you can see on the budget, our total revenue is gonna come in at, $316,483. And those comes from the figures that are reported by the 2 townships on the millage. The budget, unfortunately, is, set right now at $360,466, which leaves us with a shortfall of $43,983. I'm gonna say inflation is one thing. The cost of fuel, jumped dramatically this last year. We had to increase the pay for the firefighters to try to keep people on the department. As they were still showing up and making calls for $16. That's pretty hard to take to get up in the middle of the night for $16. So we've upped their pay. Truck repairs, engine 1, I can tell you it was new in '98, and the old girl's starting to get a little tired. You look at it, that's 23 years old, and average life on a fire truck, you're looking at 20. So it's eating us up more with the repairs. And truck repairs, I can give you the figure of what they're over for the year. Let's see, that's 303. Yeah, we're over about 1,000 right now. But firefighter pay is another thing. We're about 13,000 over. Right? Yeah, about 13,000 over. So when the chief set the budget up, he had to figure this next year could very well be the same as this year. So that's where everything got inflated, you look and we looked it over quite extensively. And even though there's things that say, well, that's inflated from last year, it's because it needs to be inflated. So, our recommendation was we were gonna bring it to the townships and let them decide on what they wanted to do with it, even though there's a $43,000 short, or $44,000 almost shortfall. At the end of the year, we may have to look at it, and we may have to pull some money from the capital improvement fund, which that's not gonna be sustainable forever. Because then when it comes time to get something to replace engine one, which is gonna come up within the next 2 years, probably. We're not gonna have the funds to purchase it the way we had before.
I say the money left over, though, you said it was 80, we're at 87% now,
83.7.
83.7. How does that calculate with dollar amount? Do you know? Knowing that we've got another month to go,
Well,
why is it this month to go?
let's see, we're 59, 49, right, all right. So,
Just a ballpark.
let's say for 20,000 more, that's 33, he leaves about 30-some thousand left,
Okay,
maybe.
okay.
It all depends on what happens in the next month.
And I'm looking at that with the 44 here.
Right.
And hopefully you've anticipated on the high expense.
Well, I will let the chief answer that, he's the one
Yeah.
put this together.
Hopefully you've anticipated expenses
Yeah.
higher than what actual may be.
And we have a little bit, I mean, nothing is padded. We kind of base things off of what the inflation rate is right now. I bumped up a little bit, just like our operating expenses, everything from, laundry soap to toilet bowl cleaner to ink pens is all up. So we had to just I nudged them up just kind of over where we kind of came in this year. Some things are actual, so the insurance policy, that's actually working with underwriting and getting pretty close in the ballpark. We knew our big policy was gonna go up about 8,000 this year, give or take
Sure.
a little bit. Our workman's comp, I talked to them, they increased to 7,000 last year and didn't anticipate that much this year, but we have to plan for an increase.
With increased wages,
Yeah, the increased wages drove the workman's comp
drive
up.
workman's comp up.
Yeah, it
Okay.
So there is some of that, we nudged a few things up, the thing about the budget that I pointed out to the board, on Monday night was, there are some things that are over that you can see we don't spend every year, but the best example I can give you is turnout gear. I have to keep a contingency in there, this year I've spent less than $200, but I keep $1,500 in that line item, because it only takes 5 guys tromping through diesel fuel on a semi rollover, and 5 sets of gear have to go in, from one call, that money's gone.
And that's we're talking cleaning.
Yes,
Not repairing, not.
not replacing.
If something drastically happened and you had to replace a
That's it.
set, you're looking at 3,000?
Yeah, okay.
So
And
the,
that's just turnout gear, that's not boots, helmet, or anything. And that was another thing that I'm gonna point out that you brought up. The helmets that the department is using at the present time are past their expiration date.
not yet, they're coming to the end of, the end
End
of
of
this year.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're still current.
You're,
So,
But they're
Yeah.
very close to the end of the expiration date, so.
and the fire board is solid with the $360,466 budget?
We said that we were gonna bring it to the boards with our recommendation that we approve it,
Do you
that you
concur?
approve it. We have.
Yeah, I think it should be more, but Good.
Um,
The chief said, you know, he doesn't, he's not extravagant, he's pretty much a penny pincher when it comes to expenses, so. You will call it worse.
well, at this time, I, move to approve the Parma Sandstone Fire Department budget in the amount of $360,466. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
I have a motion from Wendy and a second from Sarah to approve the fire department budget in the amount of $360,466. Is there discussion? Sarah, discussion? Sheila, discussion? Doug? Keith?
I'm fine with it.
Station, when you're ready, would you please call the roll?
Wendy,
Yes.
Sarah,
Yes.
Doug,
Yes.
Keith,
Yes.
Sheila.
Yes.
Motion carried, thank you. Is there any other fire department business to be brought forward?
The only thing is I'm going to state, what's getting to be an obvious fact, is the fact that the present millage that is set for the fire department, and I know there's gonna be people in here who will boo me for this, but
No, they won't.
we'll have to, it's gonna come down to the point where we're gonna have to look at an additional millage or increase the millage that we presently have to be able to maintain the fire department and give the services that we are presently giving. Because it's just getting to the point where, well, I'll give you an example. In December, they had that department, our little fire department down there, ran 101 runs. In January, it went down a little bit, it was down to just under 90. But then this last month, they were back up to 102, which is a record for the department. Sure, we had the ice storm, which boosted the numbers, but as time goes on, it seems like each year, the department is running more and more runs. And I'd say a lot of them are EMS calls. I mean, I can look at the sheet that we have on the runs here. I'm gonna use Sandstone because I can remember that number quite well. They had 46 runs. 25 of those were EMS calls. Parma's was 38, and I think there was 19 runs. So it was about 50% of the runs are EMS calls. And let me tell you, I'm just speaking from my own personal point of view. If I'm having a heart attack, I want these guys to show
Oh, yeah.
up.
In June, when we have our joint meeting, put together some statistics. I think it's my turn to chair it, so we can take a look at it and do some futuring with the fire department. Okay? Good hard statistics, so we can, as a group, decide what we're gonna do.
Like I say, nobody wants to raise taxes, but you're gonna have the service, you're gonna have to. Somebody's gonna have to.
Baby boomers. Thank you.
I guess that's all I got. Anything more than that?
Do you have anything there?
I just, concerning the EMS calls, it always looks like there's far more EMS calls than are fire calls. And other departments have talked about eliminating the EMS calls. Well, I think we've, in the past year, have saved 2 lives.
There's been more than that, two that came to mind for the example the other night, but there's been far more than that.
Well,
I would like to
Excuse
say
me.
something.
Excuse me, no, you'll have your turn after the meeting. I remember a long time ago, when it was first made available to townships, medical first responder. Our board and our people said, we wanna do medical first responders. We listened to our people, we are medical first responders. That, in my opinion, will not be at all in jeopardy of losing.
And that was the sentiment of the whole fire board the other night too. Nobody wanted to give up that.
Well, you were just a youngster, and being part of the township then, that's what was decided. Thank you, Keith. Thank you, William. Noel. We will continue in announcements. Our spring cleanup is Saturday, April 22nd, here between 9 and 1. Our fall cleanup is Saturday, September 23rd, here between 9 and 1. This is for, this will be for residents of Parma Township and Parma Village's side that sits in Parma Township. We have March 15th Board of Review from 1 to 9 p.m. We'll break between 4 and 6 right here at Parma Township Hall. We have March 22nd Board of Review from 9 to 4 with a 12:30 to 1:30 break at Concord Township Hall. You may appeal at either place. Do you have any announcements?
If I just would add one thing, it would be board review, calling Jessica for appointments is what she's having us do in our office because of the
Yes.
large expected volume,
Yes.
so.
If you need to make an appointment, we can get you with the assessor's number to schedule appointments. As of yesterday at the informational, she only had one appointment scheduled for Parma Township. I don't know if she has more. Old business, is there any recommendation from the planning commission to be brought forward? For anything?
We'd like to recommend though, that when we do have the public hearing for the aggregate,
Mhm.
that, they provide a film of how the mining works. at
Okay,
their
that'll
existing site.
be,
Yeah.
that's not here tonight.
No,
that'll
but I
be-
mean, we had discussed it.
Okay. Is there any other old business to bring forward? If not, new business. I will entertain a motion to approve Parma's 2023-2024 budget as presented.
Second.
I entertain a
Oh, you
motion.
had-
I'll make that motion.
I have a motion from Sarah, do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion from Sarah with a second from Doug to approve Parma's 2023-2024 budget as presented. Is there discussion? If not, Stacia, when you're ready, would you please call the roll?
Sarah,
Yes.
Doug,
Yes.
Keith,
Yes.
Sheila,
Yes.
Wendy,
Yes, motion carried. We have a PA 116 agreement submitted by Dennis Hasnick for property on Brown Road. It was the previous J. Sykes Farm. It is land code identification number 000-061-126-00100. I so move that we accept that agreement. Do I have a second?
I'll second
I have a motion from Wendy, a second from Sheila to approve the Dennis Hasnick PA 116 agreement for 000-061-126-00100, the previous J. Sykes Farm on Brown Road. Is there further discussion? When you're ready, Stacia, would you please call the roll?
Wendy,
Yes.
Sheila,
it. Yes.
Doug,
Yes.
Keith,
Yes.
Sarah,
Yes.
Motion carried. I would, they are the regular board meeting dates for 2023-2024 will be June 14th at 6 p.m., September 13th at 6 p.m., December 13th at 6 p.m., and March 13th of 2024 at 6 p.m. I move that they be accepted. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
I have a motion from Wendy with a second from Sarah for the regular board meeting dates of June 14th, September 13th, December 13th, and March 13th of 2024. Is there further discussion? If not, Stacia, when you're ready, would you please call the roll?
Wendy,
Yes.
Sarah,
Yes.
Sheila,
Yes.
Doug,
Yes.
Keith,
Motion carried. I spoke with the planning commission chairman this morning in great detail. And I move that the planning commission regular meeting minute dates for 2023, 2024, Parma Township, June 7th, 2023 at 6 p.m., September 6th at 6 p.m., December 6th at 6 p.m., and March 6th of 2024 at 6 p.m. Do I have a second? I have a motion from Wendy, and a second from Keith. Planning Commission regular meeting dates, June 7th, September 6th, December 6th, and March 6th of 2024. Is there further discussion? If not, Stacia, when you're ready, would you please call the roll?
Wendy,
Yes.
Keith,
Yes.
Doug,
Yes.
Sheila,
Yes.
Sarah,
Yes.
Motion carried. I have regular fire board regular meeting dates. I have a list compiled here, January 2nd. Oh, we've already done that.
The first couple of hours.
Mark, we'll do April 3rd, 2023, 6 p.m. May 3rd, 6 p.m. June 5th, 5:30 p.m. July 5th, 6 p.m. August 7th, 6 p.m. September 6th, 6 p.m. October 2nd, 6 p.m. November 6th, 6 p.m. December 4th, 5:30 p.m. I don't have January, February. Sarah, would you tell me January's date? And March is February and March.
Well, the first would be New Year's Day for January, so would you make that the second,
Probably the third, probably the third.
the third?
January 3rd at 6 p.m.
The first Monday in February is the third.
February 5th at 6 p.m.
it's the 7th. Is it Monday or Wednesday? Okay, sorry.
Is it February 5th?
It's the 5th, I'm sorry, yep.
At 6 p.m. And March,
Fourth. is
March
Monday.
4th at 6 p.m. I will so move. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Motion from Wendy with a second by Sarah, and I'm not going to repeat them unless you want me to. Is there further discussion? If not, Stacia, when you're ready, would you please call the roll?
Wendy,
Yes.
Sarah,
Yes.
Doug,
Yes.
Sheila,
Yes.
Keith,
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carried. The joint Parma Sandstone Fire Department meeting dates will be June 5th, 2023, and December 4th, 2023, at, do I want to say 5 p.m.? 7 p.m. 7 p.m. Thank you for the
Regular
correction.
fire board.
It's before that.
5:30.
Okay. I so move. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
I have a motion by Wendy with a second by Sheila to appoint or approve the joint Parma Sandstone Fire Department meeting dates of June 5th and December 4th at 7 p.m. at the fire station. Is there further discussion? If not, Stacia, when you're ready, would you please call the roll?
Wendy,
Yes.
Sheila,
Yes.
Sarah,
Yes.
Keith,
Yes.
Doug,
Yes.
Motion carried, thank you. Board members, do you have any other business to bring forward?
I just wanna say that for the spring and fall cleanup, there are no tires at this time, but we are working on a tire drive for this year.
Yes, I've called the conservation district, waiting for a call back to see if there are grants available. I'm looking for mid-July.
They've been,
She contacted you?
yes, she's been in contact.
Fantastic, good, so maybe you can report that
We
in our,
haven't set a date yet.
okay, we can put it on our website and let everybody know. Thank you, Sarah. With that, is there any public comment? Please state your name, or stand up, raise your hand, state your name. Tammy.
Tammy Bates, I just need you to repeat the spring cleanup for me. I'm trying to write it down.
Tammy, it's April 22nd,
22nd, see, I have
Yes.
21st.
9 to 1. There will
9
be
to 1.
flyers made and distributed.
Can you bring anything except tires?
Oh, no,
No
there's a
hazardous
list.
waste,
Okay,
no cement.
I got a house to clean up.
I know.
Okay.
It'll be on the website or.
All right.
No construction materials, sorry.
No,
Okay,
no asphalt shingles.
all right.
And we'll have a roll off for, metal.
Okay,
Metal.
all right,
Yeah.
thanks.
Sir, what's your name?
My name is Neil Daniels, I'm new to the area.
Okay.
My comment is to Keith. You were talking
But you
about,
comment to me.
okay, to the
and I
board.
will- Yeah,
okay? You commented on the, EMT thing with the being connected with the fire department. I would like to say I'm very glad that it was, because just 3 months ago, it saved my life.
thank you.
I had a grand mal seizure. I was irresponsible for 3 days. They were the ones that got me to the hospital.
Thank you for letting us
That's
know
all I
that.
wanted to say when I got cut.
Thank you, fire department. Please state your name.
Robert Steele. Just curious, I don't have a problem, the millage for the fire board or anything, but what is the revenue that we were supposed to receive from the solar company for the fire? Is that just something we can accommodate for in the budget for future? I believe in their application they were going to donate money to
No,
the
they
fire
weren't.
department.
No, they weren't. No. Any monies that we receive from various projects will come from ad valorem taxes, personal property taxes, or utility personal taxes. There are no perks that we receive from any of the projects. You, just.
I know.
Are there any other comments? Sir, please state your name.
James Sloan, and I just have a couple, 3 questions. I went to the planning commission meeting last night. There's only 4 people on that. I come to this, there's 5. So the obvious question is, there's supposed to be 5, why isn't there? And 2, why is it that the people that apply to be put on the commission receive nothing? They're told, nope, you're not it because we don't think you're right. On what grounds?
The grounds are, it's the supervisor's responsibility to make appointments that are ratified by the board, and at this time, I have not chosen a 5th member to the planning commission.
Why not? I mean, it's a responsibility that everyone would like to have to help make the community better. And I'm sorry, and I applied, and you're telling me no, and you don't even know me. So why am I not a good fit?
At this time, I believe it is not the right time to appoint anyone to the planning commission, and thank you for your comment.
Why not?
And thank you for your comment.
My 2 minutes is
Is
enough.
there any other comments or concerns? Please stand up and state your name.
Thelma Royston, Thelma Royston, Emerson Village. We've got houses over there that are not, they're junk. Not the houses, people are putting junk out and leaving it like for months. I called Wendy 3 months ago, and was talking to her about it. And nothing's changed. With Daryl there on the corner, Daryl, I don't know his last name, he's been there for years, fixes cars, he's got tires, all kinds of junk. I've got pictures here.
Will you
You want
give
to?
me the addresses of the,
Oh.
yeah, if this is for us, yes, I can give it to our blight ordinance officer.
I didn't get their house numbers,
We can talk.
yeah,
Yeah,
they're
Yeah.
just, and the two of them are right there at the front of the village.
yeah, I
Me
know.
and another lady clean that, every summer we keep it clean, go down there and mow, and my husband mows, and we clean up what everybody else dumps out, we pick up their garbage and clean it up, and then we get this, when you come in the village, both houses on both sides are a filthy mess. My bus driver said, that's awful. I ride a bus, and he said, it
Thank you.
degrades our community.
Thank you for bringing that to our attention. Thank you. And I saw another hand. Please stand up and state your name.
Mike McKinney. I thought your response to his question was insufficient. I was at the planning commission meeting last night as well, and I saw people at that table trying to answer questions, doing the best they could. And I saw an empty chair that could be filled with someone that could be answering the questions. Not only is it a matter of information, but it's a matter of legwork as well. They're trying to divvy up responsibilities to get this information, and you're making it impossible, or you're making it more difficult for that to happen. I think that's negligent. And if you are the obstacle for something as benign as that, as simple as that, then I think that obstacle needs to be replaced.
Thank you for your comment.
Yes.
Is there any other comments, concerns? Sir, please state your name.
My name is Scott Penrod. I was at the Planning Commission meeting also last night, and I'd like to commend the Planning Commission for the efforts that they're trying to make, but it's becoming very apparent that there's a lack of communication between the Planning Commission and this board. The buck keeps getting passed back and forth on these ordinance changes regarding the gravel pit. They say they can't do anything at this time and that it's all up to you. The Parma Preservation Society has been presenting information to both groups since October and November of last year, and there's been zero action taken on what we've requested. We keep being told that you can't do anything because the application was already submitted in July. That is completely false, Wendy. We have proven time and time again through cases with other townships that they have changed the ordinances while there's an application in process. This community is becoming very frustrated that we're not getting any answers and no action forward. We've pledged our cooperation, our time, our help, and we're getting zero.
Thank you for your comment. Are there any other comments or concerns? Please
I'd like
state your
to,
name.
I'm Olivia Steele. I'd just like to point out that there are other chairs in this township office that Wendy has chosen not to bring out here. I would like to point out that if they're in this township office, they should have been purchased with taxpayer money and made available to the taxpayers of this community.
Thank you for your comment. Please stand and state your name.
My name is Becky McKinney. I also was at the Planning Commission meeting last night, and we listened to the mining applicant discuss the process that he'd been going through to apply for a mining permit for the area that is in the Brown Road, North Parma area. He talked about the landowner exercising his mineral rights. He talked about the application process and how each step was ideal for the mining company, but didn't talk at all about the very serious consequences facing the residents in this area. Didn't talk about the decline in property value. didn't talk about the possibility of water contamination, didn't talk about the possibility of wells going dry, didn't talk about the silica dust that would be kicked up through the area, didn't talk about the heightened traffic and the increased danger of that. Never mentioned how many families live on the 4 roads that encircle that proposed mine, and never questioned the appropriateness of a site among all those homes. Never mentioned the end-use plan. And of course, the reason is because his concern is just opening that mine. And as I pointed out to the Planning Commission last night, and I'm asking the Township Board as well, we need our elected representatives to protect us. That's what we've been asking all along, is for the ordinances to be updated so that these consequences that could harm the community are addressed.
Thank you for your comment. There's no other comment?
Can you say more than one?
Please stand, state your name.
James Long. I have a question. When do you think it will be time to appoint someone? And what are you waiting on? The miners to say it's okay to appoint somebody? Or what?
Minors have no say, sir.
You do, but when are you gonna say?
When the time is appropriate and this major project that we have not had one meeting on is brought to fruition.
Wouldn't it be more sense to have the
I'm
person
here
in
to,
place?
you asked me a question, I answered it. I'm not obligated to answer your questions right now.
No, you're not, and I
And I
agree with you.
thank you for your concern.
But I don't thank you for yours, because you have none.
That is. Please stand and state your name.
John Miller. Last night, Mr. Merritt, I believe, council.
The chairman of the planning commission.
He assured us that he would contact the board and let you guys know what our concerns were last night and how we feel about this project, and make a recommendation to the board that you act a little more concerned with these issues and let us know that you're looking out for what's best. My question was, who puts that packet together, the information that's in that packet? I would like to know which board member puts that paperwork together and puts it in that packet and gets it to the consultant. And did you guys receive that information today? Do you know what we were all asking for last night?
I was not at the meeting. I had conversation
that.
with the planning commission. Procedurally, we're obligated to follow our ordinance requirements. And that is, we have hired a consultant. We have a consultant on board. It will go through the planning commission. They will vet it. They will take all of your concerns into consideration at a public hearing. At the conclusion of the public hearing, if they have more concerns, they can hold sufficient other meetings to satisfy their concerns. They will then, as a planning commission, due diligence with their research and development, report their recommendations to the township board, independent of the project applicant, independent of their personal feelings. They will follow the ordinance. Then they will make a recommendation to the township board. The township board then holds a public hearing, a second public hearing, a third one if necessary, to hear you take the recommendation from the planning commission that is vetted through consultants and our ordinance. Then the township board will make the decision based on our ordinance requirements. That's local, county, state, and federal. We can't make a decision before it has been vetted.
Okay, I do hear that, thank you. But again, as a group, we seem to be opposed to it. You seem to be directly opposed to all of us.
I am
So I
not.
want to know what information, how do we know that what you're gonna put in that packet is what we
I
want?
don't put anything in the packet.
Who does? That's what I keep asking.
Every
You-
bit of,
My-
just a minute, Sarah. Every bit of information from you, from the consultant, from the attorney, from whoever, goes to the clerk. It is the clerk's responsibility to handle correspondence. And if it is correspondence that needs to be distributed to the planning commission, it goes to the planning commission. If it needs to be distributed to the township board, it comes to the township board. If it is something that you want distributed, make a packet, drop it off with the name of the individual that you want to receive it, and it will be put in their packet over here to receive it.
Well, the only reason I'm asking is because you seem to be bothered with our questions.
I'm not bothered with your questions.
That's not
I
what
am not
seems to be
bothered
coming
at all.
through.
I hear your pain, but we have to follow the rules. Sir, please stand and state your name.
My name is Lucas Sponsler. I live on Mackey Road. I don't have any questions, so this doesn't need to be a Q&A
Yeah.
for this public comment, which is normally the way things go during public comment. We have application processes and ordinances to protect landowners and residents alike. That should protect the economic interests of landowners, as well as the quality of life of the residents. So, my comment is that there should be no reason that we cannot initiate a review of our ordinances, which are old and need updating. It's been, by comparison to many other townships, similar, townships of a similar demographic and, type of, land as ours. So, that would be my comment, is that I believe, and I believe a lot of other people agree, that now would be a good time to review our ordinance, begin that review, which is a long and drawn out process, as we have recently seen with the solar ordinances. If we begin that review process, there may be things that we find should be maybe incorporated into the conditions of use that, would be considered for current pending applications.
I
That's my
agree.
comment.
I agree. Any other comments? Please state your name.
Olivia Steele. I just want you to know that I submitted interest in the Planning Commission or any other board in December of 2021. The application for this contentious project was not submitted until July of 2022.
I'm going to go out of order right now, and I'm going to make a statement. I usually don't do this. This deal was in my office, and I was looking for a planning commission member. And before this project began, we had no projects in place. I asked her in the front office if she would be considered for the planning commission. And she denied. She stated, I have 4 small children, I have a job, I don't have time. My answer to her was, when I got on the planning commission, I had 4 children, I had a job, and I took the time to represent my township. And that aggrieves me when she points the finger and says, you won't put me on the planning commission. I don't want negativity, I don't want one-sidedness, I don't want personal feelings involved with this decision. I wanna follow the ordinance, the local, the county, the state, and the federal requirements on any project we have. I represent you as a township, and I have helped several of you successfully complete your projects, as simple as from an agricultural pole barn for your animals, up to a big project like the car dealership, I view them all the same, independently on their own merit. Sir, please state your name.
Robert Steele, and I will call horse shit on that, because I know for a fact, she does not have 4 small children.
Excuse your language.
Excuse my language. She does not have 4 small
If there are
children, so
no
that's
other
a lie out of your
comments,
mouth.
No, sir, please state your name.
Scott Penrod, last question. As far as the conditional use permit, the application being moved forward to the independent study or to the consultant, in one of the meetings last year, you stated that you considered the application to be incomplete because they didn't have an end use identified. So why would that application be being moved forward when there is still no end use being identified on that? And the second part of that question is that they recently were allowed to resubmit a whole nother booklet of information updating their conditional use permit after they saw the backlash that they were facing from the community. So why isn't the original application from 7/30 of last year being submitted to that, and why are they allowed to update their information, provide you with additional information, but we're not allowed to update the ordinance?
To answer your question, I have not reviewed any of the material that they have supplied to the township. We have hired a consultant as the board. We rely on the planning commission for research and development.
So you're saying
If I-
you did
if
not
I may-
state that it was incomplete?
Excuse me, let me answer your question. If the planning commission deems they need additional information with our conditional use permit request, they may receive additional information. The planning commission will not bring it to public hearing until they have received any additional information they require to make the decision for the recommendation to the board. If it was incomplete, I am pretty certain, I have planning commission members here, that they are reaching out for additional supporting documentation to work with legal counsel, our consultant, and them.
Did you say during one of the last public meetings last fall that you considered the application incomplete without a designated final use that would generate, let me finish please, I let you finish, let me finish.
No, I'm the supervisor, let me answer this.
We're all taxpayers.
Let me answer this, I'm glad everybody's here. The comment that I made was, I did not want, and record this, because I've said it to everyone, I did not want a property that had 2 lakes on it that would be township responsibility to provide liability insurance, fire and police, to protect our residents from harm. That I wanted a full completed project with a condominium plan for development that would increase the tax base to our township, so it would help relieve the additional taxes that we may incur in the future to protect our taxpayers. That's what I said.
Then why are
When
we
I
in?
meant that I did not think it was a completed project. I won't vote for it if there is not a condominium plan in place that has the streets, the roads, a final project, and lots provided to enhance Parma Township on a Class A road next to a golf course, next to I-94. That's what I said.
Then why are we considering it at this point and even wasting tax
I'm
dollars?
not considering anyone, I haven't seen the plans.
We're all sitting here, you're gonna send it on to, be looked at.
The planning commission knows what I want.
Then-
To be able to vote for it.
And I
But
guess,
I am one person, and it doesn't matter what I, as an individual, want. I am trying to protect the tax base, increase the tax base in Parma Township, so the residential taxpayers and the agricultural taxpayers don't have to support our financial needs.
so I hope the planning commission members that are here tonight heard what was said
They've heard it
about,
before.
about the end use.
They've
Because
heard it
there
before.
is no end use identified, zero.
They've heard it before.
I just wanna make sure they heard it again
They've
from
heard it
you,
before,
and it shouldn't be moving forward.
sir. Please state your name.
James Lowe. I'm going off of what you relayed to me on one of my questions, that you don't feel you should add anyone to the board now because there's an ongoing process, correct? I wanna make sure that I understand. Because this process started, what, 2 years ago or a year ago?
I don't know when it started. I know the application was received in July.
Okay, then, excuse me, but Tammy Bates last night stated that she was just put on the board 3 months ago.
She was.
That was after
Not
it
3
was
months
started.
ago.
3 meetings
I didn't
ago.
say 3 months, I
3
said
meetings
3
ago.
months.
meetings.
3
It's not
meetings
3
ago.
months.
It's supposed to be 3 months.
So,
Why was she put on it?
what's the difference if you have 3 or 4? And why can't you go to 5?
Mrs. Bates retired from her position. She was a very good, open-minded professional in her job as she continues to bring it forward. She was born in Parma Township, she was raised in Parma Township. I thought that she could have an open mind and make the correct decisions for the township.
And no one else can, in your opinion.
Tammy, were you born and raised here? Are you
I've been
retired?
raised here. I've been here since that tall.
Does she know who you are?
I retired.
We're not gonna debate this. I've answered your question.
No, you haven't. You don't answer
Are there
questions.
any other
You're just a
comments or
plain old bitch.
questions?
How much you getting out of it?
Alright. There is a process to these meetings. I ask everybody to follow the process so we can maintain order, please.
One more, please state your name.
Olivia Steele, and I'd like to point out that Ms. Chamberlain did not offer me a planning commission seat because they were all full at the time of that conversation, and I told her I had to think that over and discuss that with my husband. Not to mention that in December of 2021, my husband also submitted an interest email, and so did Mr. Penrod.
If there are no other questions or comments. Sir, please state your name.
Jason Chase. I'd like to thank you for making time to work with me on my project.
We'll get it taken care of.
Thank you.
It will be able to be accomplished. I got the letter today from legal counsel. I will be in counsel with legal counsel. You bring it to fruition with your adjacent property, it will be able to be accomplished, Jason.
Thank you, Wendy.
You're welcome. Sir, please state your name.
Keith Lane.
Thank you, Keith.
I was at the meeting last night, and the NRM guy that spoke very specifically laid out plans and stated that they were already working with Eagle on permits for the 2 lakes that they're planning on installing. Those were his words, not mine last night, and so that's kind of completely in contradiction with your comments today. And I would like, I guess, to know if that's a discussion between the planning commission and the board that's ongoing, since it's sort of a major discrepancy.
Thank you, Keith. As we go forward with research and development, consultation, attorneys, that will be discussed. And I'm only one vote. At the end of the line, I have communicated that I'm only looking out for your interest, Parma Township's interest, and that's how I can sign off on it. If it goes the lane, follows the rules, goes down the path, and it will be a good end-run project for Parma Township. We haven't had a meeting on it yet. We're still compiling data. come to the planning commission meetings with the research and development and educate yourself with the process. I'm not saying you're not educated, but educate yourself with the process. I don't let my personal thoughts jade my decisions. I treat anyone that comes in as an applicant for a project, like I say, if it's as simple as a pole barn for your animal or a big project, they're all projects, and I view them all with the same care that the project deserves.
Thank you, Wendy. Just a comment.
State your name.
You say you're just one vote and that you want what's best and everything. It just seems that you are very obstinate or not transparent with us. Don't you think that this would all work so much better if there wasn't such hostility in this room?
Oh, absolutely.
We don't feel that you want to hear us.
Absolutely.
Well then, why is it like you want to block our questions?
Dawn, this project isn't right yet. It's not right yet.
Then it
I don't
shouldn't be
have,
this.
as a group, we can't make any decisions here. This has to follow the path. We're talking about it. I understand your concern. I understand your anger. We haven't had any meetings on it yet, Dawn.
And I do understand that you haven't had a meeting yet, but how is it so, such a drawn line between
I don't
you
have
and
any
the room?
answers. I don't have any answers.
Well, that's why I'm making a suggestion.
I don't have any answers. I choose to remain neutral. I choose not to take sides. I have to see the project to fruition when there are major decisions made, and I've said this before. Even on the planning commission, I don't know how I'm going to vote until we sit at the table to bring it forward for the decision process. I want to hear everything. I want every bit of research and development. All this week, our office has been so busy, it's difficult to even do routine business. There's more to running a township than having just a meeting, and this isn't just a meeting, but a meeting a week, a month, whatever. I hear everybody, but there's absolutely nothing I can do right now other than channel the project to fruition. And I don't wanna be here much longer. Sir, you haven't had a word. What's your name?
Ryan Olmo. 6 years ago, I moved from Sandstone Township to Parma Township, purchased my property on Dillon Lane as an investment. Fortunately, with the economy, right, that property has increased significantly. And even though I'm a mile away from the proposed site, there is certainty that my property value is going to decline, okay? And I don't plan on living in Parma Township for 30 years, the life of this project, right? By that time, I plan on having a house in Florida somewhere, right? So I'm concerned with, the resale value of my home, the investment that I have made in Parma Township, and not getting that back out of it that I had planned for the future of myself and my family. And it was a statement, and you're talking 30 years from now when they have 2 lakes and a condominium. None of us in this room are gonna be here at that time.
I'm not gonna be alive.
Right, well, and that's, exactly.
That's why I am as
We're
passionate.
not gonna feel the benefits of that.
That's why I'm as passionate as I am, because I can't make decisions based on right now. I'm not going to be there in the future. I'm responsible, as well as the board members are responsible, for the future of the township and making good decisions for the township. And I I don't wanna drag this on until midnight. As an assessor, sir, I was an assessor for 20 years. I was here when the hog farm came in, I was on the planning commission. And that was what everybody said. As an assessor, we do 1, 2, and sometimes 3-year sales studies. We watched the sales, all assessors, I wasn't an assessor, but all assessors watched the sales in an area. And within a mile radius and a 2-mile radius of that hog farm, I didn't do the sales. Mrs. Steele, Mr. Steele bought one of the properties that was built by the supervisor, by that hog facility. And there were absolutely no sales that showed even that hog facility had a reduction in value to properties. In fact, when her home, his home, sold, it was above the value that was on the books at the township. That's how it determines, you only determine a reduction in value when you sell your house, unfortunately. And I'm not discounting your belief.
Was
But
that
that's
house
how it's
sold
determined.
after the hog farm was shut down or before?
That house was sold when the hog farm was in business. Jack Torringa built it. He sold it, the hog farm was still in business.
The hog farm purchased it for a premium.
And
Why is it
then the
sold
next
for more?
person, and then the next
Why is it
person,
sold for more?
then the next person bought it. But we're not here to, we're not solving any problems here, we're communicating.
No, we're just.
Sir, you haven't had a chance. What's your name?
Mike Scott. When it comes time for the review board to make a decision whether to present this to the board, if they're in a 2-2 tie, what are they supposed to do?
It's a no-go.
It's a, well, yeah, it can't be a tie vote.
No short straws or anything like
No,
that?
it can't be a tie vote.
So then,
A tie vote is a no vote.
but if 4 people voting can result in a tie vote.
Yes,
So then what happens?
And that means a no.
that
Means
means no.
Okay, so done deal.
I can't say
And
it's a
the-
done deal because I'm not a legal representative.
But you just definitively said if it's
Yeah.
2-2, then it's
That's
a
a
no
no
vote.
vote.
Then that would be it.
It would still go to the township board
As a no.
without a recommendation. Because it would have to follow procedure. Thank you for asking that. Okay. Nobody's got their hands
One last
up.
thing, sorry that we're all very passionate about this, I know tempers flare, but, we are very passionate, like I said before, this whole group is pro Parma. So we all have the best interests in mind, tempers flare, but
So am I, thank you,
we'd all like to
Scott.
work together,
Thank you.
that's all we've asked.
Okay, I'm gonna take a stab at it. It's 7:14, meeting adjourned.